the question to you, the spirituality which you embedded, does it came because your father was spiritual or it was there in you as a seed and it got sprouted because you were in the right soil and environment? And as a common person, those who haven't begun their journey, how should they start? And those who are already on their journey, how can they expand more than just their capsule of me? But you know, if you flip the me upside down, it becomes we. So that's how I will ask you many questions, but pretty much embedded with each other. Go ahead.
Thank you. You know, Dr. Sachin, I feel, you know, we're all brothers and sisters in this planet, on this, you know, as humanity together. And my path really, you know, I've been very fortunate because I grew up with a lot of Buddhist symbols, you know, my father being a Tibetan Lama and coming here to the States as a refugee and seeing his life as an example of someone who's very dedicated to the mission
Right.
of bringing back the text to many of the monasteries that were destroyed during the Cultural Revolution, and so many efforts that were built around, you know, close to 53 years of his life being here in my life. So seeing that as a great example, and of course my mother when she was alive and her compassion too. So my parents are great living examples, though my mother's not here anymore. And then I would say that my own life, you know, as I get older, I see the wisdom, and you know, I'm starting to hear more and understand and reflect in my own life how important these teachings are, and that we can use our own lives as a very rich treasure of knowledge. And I think the first step is to be curious, to be really deeply curious about our minds, and to understand understand self. And once we understand more about self, we have this incredible opening of great compassion for others. You know, in a way, we have to understand kind of our own stuff, you know, which actually ends up being quite universal, the human condition. You know, I mean, even though we all look very different and we come from different spaces, ultimately human condition is pretty similar. You know, there's the truth of suffering. And I think once we understand that, we kind of get into a sense that, you know, this is for all. And the more that we do for others, the less that we get caught up in the I.
Right.
And the I part becomes less and less interesting.